Hello, my name is Sofia Flores. I will be introducing my informative essay on training a dog. So, my presentation is Bark to Basics, a beginner's guide to effective dog training by me, Sofia Flores. So, this is an informative speech. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the back. So, gathering supplies. What will we need for this project, anyways? Or, excuse me. So, what you'll need is a dog, of course. You're going to need a dog. You're going to need some treats. The treats are very important in this example, and I will get to later why. A collar and leash are very optional. They're not really needed, but if you find it more comfortable for your dog being on leash so that they say you're outside and you don't want your dog to be running around to the street or something, this would be a perfect example of why to get a collar and leash. Last of all, what you really need is patience with your dog. If you have never trained your dog before, and just say that you never trained your dog before, that your dog has never been trained, new to training, especially with the sit, you're going to need patience because that dog is experiencing something new in their life and they're basically waiting on your approval. So that is our supplies that we're going to need for this. Teaching your dog the steps on how to sit down. So we're going to see that. Oh, way too far. Sorry, okay. So before we get to the actual steps, I wanted to talk about some attributes, some positive attributes of teaching a dog how to sit, how to train a dog. Why do we need this? Why do we need to train a dog? So according to Journal of Applied Behavioral Analysis, it states that there's a reduction in stress-related hormones, improvement in immune functions, and improvement of behavioral assessment overall. So basically what it's just saying is that if you spend your time with your dog just training them, doing some simple tricks, having that one-on-one time with them, you're gonna see that you're gonna see that bond start to grow with your dog. And whether or not that's your dog or your friend's dog, you're gonna see some real benefits coming from this, improving in immune functions and behavioral. This is for the puppies. This is for the puppy owners. A survival guide shows that you're going to teach your dog a word of action. This is basically going to go into how to teach them how to sit. You're going to have a tasty treat quoted from this book. You're going to have a tasty treat ready for this dog because you want to reward that dog as soon as they do something right. And in my example, in the next slide, I'll show you how that looks like. So if you're training a puppy, this is just for puppy. Well, you can do it with any dog, actually. Any small dog, medium-sized dog. If you want to get into that like one-on-one with that dog, you want to be able to sit down, especially if it's a puppy. You want to be able to sit down on that ground and just be able to talk to that dog face to face, making sure that you're on that dog's level. Classical conditioning. Classical conditioning is a major factor in dog training. So it's basically just introducing your dog to a stimulus, a neutral stimulus. Maybe it's the sound of your voice. Maybe it's a clicker. These attributes have no association with the dog until you make an association. So say that you want to teach your dog to sit, you're going to use that classical conditioning. You're going to make sure that you're giving your dog a treat every time they're doing something good. And that's a praise. So you want that your dog to be able to be praised. And if they're not doing what you want them to be doing, then it's an immediate you're on it. You have to have a it's not really negative. You're basically just teaching your dog that if they're doing something wrong, that you need to show them what they're doing is wrong so that they won't go doing it again. So saying like wrong or basically wrong or no is the most common. So if your dog is like, it's basically more training to see if your dog doesn't want, if you don't want a dog to sniff another dog, you would say wrong and keep him next to you. But that's for another day. Okay, so teaching your dog how to sit. I have an example here. I have my twin sister and my older dog. Even though he's older, he's still able to learn new tricks. Okay, so the top left side is her introducing her dog. So it's her and her dog, and they're having eye contact. The next step that you want to do is that you want to have a command, basically sit. In this situation, it's basically sit, and you're going to raise your hand up. That's going to be your classical conditioning. That raising your hand up means sit. Then what she does on the bottom left is she praises that dog. So she gives that dog a treat, and that's positive reinforcement. So you're going to want to do that. Every time your dog sits, you're going to want to positively reinforce that. And then next is just more positive reinforcement. A pat on the head, a pet on the head. Dogs love pets. So that is basically how to train your dog how to sit. Let's see. Final tips and takeaways. So you're just going to want to do constant rehearsal to make sure that you instill that behavior in that dog. You're going to always want to praise your dog. You just want to make sure that they're doing a good job. You're going to have a positive reinforcement. Never give up. I know it's going to be tiring, but never give up. And also be patient with your dog because they're learning something new. And thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. I hope you have a nice night, and thank you again.